Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Let's Play Bloodborne. Today we're gonna head into the Upper Cathedral Ward, but before we do that, I'm gonna see something down below in Untitled Chapter. What we have down here is a newborn celestial creature complete with tiny little cute wings and octopus suckers in its face.
It can't be. This is a nightmare.
And Arianna weeping over this thing that she's clearly just given birth to. And whenever you try to kill it, that always happens. There's no real way to kill it without also taking Arianna with it. Shoes worn by Arianna, woman of the night in the Cathedral Ward, innocent and cute in contrast with its owner. That's how Arianna's story ends, unfortunately, giving birth to this nightmarish celestial larva. Every Great One loses a child, then yearns for a surrogate, and Erden, the formless Great One, is no different. To think it was corrupted blood that began this eldritch liaison. So, that appears to have been Erden's child. Erden being a formless Great One who could not have a child of his own. Impregnated Arianna, and Arianna gave birth to that thing. Well, that's a bit dour. So, let's see how the rest of the Erden Chapel crew is doing. Let's check in with Adela the Nun. She's got nothing new for us. She's still losing it. Skeptic. Yeah, he doesn't have anything new. What about the old woman? Okay, she's still out gathering. Wait a minute, what's that? Last time we checked on her, she was still out gathering sedatives, but there's a new item out here. Oh, shit. Well, that would be her. Oh, God, this is honestly, I think, the most heartbreaking thing in the whole game for me, is the fact that you find her body right outside of the chapel with a single sedative on it.
Oh, kind hunter. The old girl you sent over, she's dead. Killed, stone dead. Why? Must have been a beast, right? Or do you think someone out there could have... I just don't... Oh... Well... I do know. It's my fault. Oh my... Was it a beast?
Oh, yeah, real dour way to start things off today. Real bleak. With Arianna's nightmare spawn by way of Erden. The old woman who I honestly started the game off hating. She becomes this sympathetic, nurturing, motherly character to you, and she gives you these sedatives to wipe your fears away in this narcotic haze. And she dies gathering just one more for you because, oh my god, and I think the thing that makes it worse is that it's so totally your fault. Like, it is entirely the player's fault that she dies like that. If I just stopped asking her for sedatives, she wouldn't have journeyed out and gotten killed. Yeah, I think that's what makes it the most heartbreaking for me. Then you really come to like that old woman. She's a real asshole at the start, but then you could see these kind of Alzheimer's-esque symptoms start to set in. Her story really gets me. So we ascend up the tower after taking the elevator back up, and with that key that we picked up in Yahargul, the Unseen Village, we can spill out into the Upper Cathedral Ward, where we see a much bigger celestial larva. Ooh. If you let those things hit you, and they can actually attack you, even though they appear so cute and so harmless, they can actually frenzy you really, really easily, and that sucks. That sucks to get hit by. Also, I just noticed for the first time that the trees actually move with the wind up here. We also, if you note, we're right next to the Grand Cathedral. Whoop. I've got to be a little bit careful about these guys, because my insight's high enough where they can start using magic. Whoop. I got this guy stuck in a loop, though, and parry you. Woo! We're off to a good start. Off to a good start. And we have tons more. Look at them, they bleed silver blood. That's an important detail about them being kin to the cosmos. Silver blood is usually the indicator. The brain suckers bleed. Oh, I almost missed the lantern because of that guy's phantom. He was concealing it a little bit. Brain suckers bleed silver. These larvae bleed silver, and some very other important NPCs and monsters. That big gate is closed by a device. Tons of these larvae. Guarding a Great Lake rune. I believe that's resist all or something like that. I think we picked another variant of that up. And the description doesn't actually tell us anything new. Because it's just a variation of the lake runes, so we'll get that line about great bodies of water being a bulwark that guard against sleep, something along those lines. Ooh, Evercrow's just getting around at me. Oh, I can't get over how just proper fucked Erden Chapel is. It's crushingly depressing. I think the only thing more depressing and heart-wrenching in the whole game is probably the story of Father Gascoigne and his whole family, which we still have to complete. We're not done with that yet. I'll take that trade, though. Trading is usually fine in Bloodborne, as long as you get the parry. You can trade taking a hit for getting a parry, and you'll get all your life back. Look at that. Like I said, they bleed silver. It was a little bit hard to tell up till now with the way things have been lit. And he was standing over the choir garb, attire of the choir, high-ranking members of the Healing Church. Members of the choir are both the highest-ranking clerics of the Healing Church and scholars who continue the work that began at Bergenworth. Together with the left-behind Great One, they look to the skies in search of astral signs that may lead them to the rediscovery of true greatness. That line, the left-behind Great Ones. There are a couple of other items that are going to make reference to left-behind Great Ones, and I find that very, very intriguing. We also get Mehmet's knowledge, and we could see that there's a brain sucker. I can't hit him! There's a brain sucker on the other side of that door, and werewolf! That's a good-ass jump scare the first time you play. Oh, shit. I guess I couldn't get... I didn't know they had a grab attack. Huh. Yeah, I guess I couldn't dash around behind them because I got cut off by the wall. Hard to fight these things in tight spaces, as you can see. When I get down to the lower floor, I'm gonna shut up a little bit because I want you to hear the ambient background noise. In fact, well, I shut up right now because you can hear it coming in. Up on the chandelier, if you look closely, you can see a couple of werewolves hanging on it. And they start making a lot of ruckus, and the chandelier falls down. So not only is it pitch black down there now... Whoa, shit. He aggroed. I didn't think he would. You get tons of buffed up blue eyes werewolves. If you're careful though, you can pull them one-on-one. What I want you to pay attention to in the background, sound-wise, is there is actually very subtle music with an infrequent chant playing. A chant of a woman. And I don't know what particular relevance that has, but it's a unique feature of this level of the Upper Cathedral Ward. and this area specifically, which is called the Orphanage. Shit, did the one I was targeting call this werewolf when he growled? That's neat. Usually this one hangs out on the right side of the room. My right, currently. I guess the left side if you're coming down the stairs. Usually likes to hang out in the left back side of the room. All in all, the werewolf section went okay for me. Usually I have a little bit more trouble with this, because I tend to get ganged up on. These werewolves are very important for you to farm if you want bloodstone chunks. If you have fewer bloodstone chunks than what you would normally want. Is this gonna work? Can I actually pull this off? What I'm saying is you can farm those werewolves. Yeah! Oh no! I thought I had the drop on them. Shit, that was such a good plan, too. You can farm those werewolves for bloodstone chunks. They actually have, among the highest drop rate for bloodstone chunks in the game. Badge of a member of the choir, elites of the healing church. The eye signifies the very cosmos. The choir stumbled upon an epiphany, very suddenly and quite by accident. Here we stand, feet planted in the earth, but might the cosmos be very near us? Only just above our heads? I love the design of that badge. The eye in the center is just this swirling cosmos. This big, churning body of stars. It's really, really cool. Cosmic Eye Watcher badge. That badge is what we'll let... Shit. I'm gonna have to chase into the room. I know there's a brain sucker behind me. I want the chunks, though. I'm lucky to have not gotten grabbed. I still might. Still... this is dicey. I don't like this. Shit. Now I'm fine. As long as I can keep them stun locked, it's good. The Cosmic Eye Watcher badge is what lets you purchase Rosmarinus. That kind of flame sprayer alternative we've seen some members of the choir using. Namely, let's see. The main one that used it was the choir hunter guarding the Lunarium at Bergenworth. Yeah, thread that needle. Oh, this is the watcher that... this is the brain sucker that I was probably most worried about in this whole level. That one sucks to deal with. Get a long, long stretch of hallway that he can just cast at you from over and over and over. And this is our shortcut back out into the second floor. The layout of this place is pretty simple. It's just the second floor is a big rectangle and the bottom floor is a big rectangle. Blindfold cap. Members of the choir, both highest rank. There we go. The eye covering indicates their debt to the teachings of Master Willem, even though their paths diverge. So, I pointed that out a while back. I said there would be an item we find later that kind of tells you why members of the church have their eyes covered. That's it. It's an homage to Master Willem back at Bergenworth. There is another brain sucker on my left who's going to come at me. Good. The casting actually worked in my favor this time, because he was trying to cast at me through the balcony. A lot of times what'll happen is you see the brain sucker up here, and you just go right for him, and then you get ambushed by the second one, if you're not careful. Key to the orphanage, birthplace of the choir. The orphanage, shadowed by the Grand Cathedral, was a place of scholarship and experimentation where young orphans became potent, unseen thinkers for the healing church. The choir that would later split the healing church was a creation of the orphanage. So I think the orphanage is kind of a double entendre. One, it was a place where they kept the left-behind Great Ones, the celestial larvae. I think they were also abducting children from Yharnam and raising them in the church in the ways of the choir up here. And like it said, it's overlooking the Grand Cathedral. Now this guy, he does not know how to do the YMCA, but he gives us the make contact gesture, which is a very, neat gesture. I would almost say it's like the praise the sun of Bloodborne. Praise the blood moon. This gesture stood out to me, so I was doing some research, and what I found out is that it's apparently based on something called the Pythagorean right triangle proposal. Basically, this mathematician from the 1800s proposed constructing this enormous right triangle in Siberia, and each side of the triangle would be bordered by a square. The squares were supposed to represent the Pythagorean theorem. Remember back to algebra, a squared plus b squared equals c squared? It was how you found out the length of the hypotenuse given the length of the other two sides of the triangle. The guy wanted to construct something so vast that it could be seen from space because he believed that he could use that to communicate to extraterrestrial life that Earth had intelligent life which understood mathematics. And that gesture happens to form a right triangle, which is why it's called Make Contact. Or that could be a total asspull, but it seems to make perfect sense to me. Out here we come across the Lumen Flower Gardens. Why is this place called a garden? Because it seems like these celestials are just growing out of the ground. Maybe another use for the orphans that the choir acquired. Turning them into celestials and just harvesting them. Like picking flowers or vegetables from a garden. So what we have here is a quick and dirty gimmick fight. It's like the sequel to Royal Rat Vanguard, except with less waiting around. Only one of these enemies was the boss, and the... Whoa, hold on, this is getting sloppy. It tends to happen to me with easy fights, because I underestimate the shit out of them. Same reason I took so much damage with 1 Reborn. I just underestimate the fight a whole lot. Woo! So, the one who's actually the Celestial Emissary pretty much just stays still for the duration of the fight down here in the garden. Woo! Sloppy fight. But a dead boss is a dead boss, no matter how you get to that conclusion. And that opens up a lantern. Real quick, I'm going to use that lantern to head back and spend these souls, and I'll probably buy Rosmarinus, so normally I would cut this out, but the loading has been reduced, and I'm only going back to the Hunter's Stream to pick an item up, and I want to check that description anyway. And that gives us a chance... Actually, no, the loading was so quick that it doesn't. I'll get that chance in a second. Where are you? Rosmarinus, a special weapon used by the choir, high-ranking members of the Healing Church, not memories, sprays a cloud of sacred mist created by using blood-imbued quicksilver bullets as a special medium. Arias are heard wherever sacred mist is seen, proving that the mist is a heavenly blessing. Oh, fair maiden, why is it that you weep? I'm not exactly sure which maiden that could be referring to, although I have some ideas. It also reminded me that I wanted to mention something from the Cosmic Eye Watcher badge about the Earth and the cosmos being closer than one might think. The first ever authored note that we found, and the only one, was written by the choir. And it was that note that said, "The sky and the cosmos are one." So, the choir stumbled upon some kind of epiphany long ago. The thought that I wanted to touch on just now, though, was about Imposter Yosefka, who we dealt with a while back and got an umbilical cord from. I think Imposter Yosefka was in all likelihood a member of the choir because she used the Augur of Ebrietas, and her goal seemed to be to experiment on people and turn them into those blue alien-looking celestials. one of the secret rites of the choir. Long ago, the Healing Church used phantasms to reach a lofty plane of darkness, but failed to make contact with the outer reaches of the cosmos. The rite failed to achieve its intended purpose, but instead created a small exploding star, now a powerful part of the choir's arsenal. At times, failure is the mother of invention. A Call Beyond is the spell that we have seen cast by... Ooh. Hold that thought. That, below us, is the ground floor of the Grand Cathedral where we fought Vicar Amelia. Yeah, that's neat. That is really cool. A Call Beyond is the spell that you've seen cast by... Well, Mikolash tries to cast it if you don't stay on his ass. A Call Beyond is the spell that one-shotted me back at Bergenworth when I was opening that chest up and the Choir Hunter surprised me. The Altar of Despair. This is a fine location for a fight. Off in the distance, that thing looks familiar, doesn't it? It looks like those celestial larvae we've been seeing, except much bigger and much more mature. And it's kneeling at an altar. And it looks a lot like Rom is on that altar. So now we have a link between... This is Ebrietas from the Augur of Ebrietas description. But we're gonna hold that thought for now and fight this thing. Okay, this is attempt number 2. I'm gonna put the end of the first fight in the corner. I had a good clean fight going. She had a pixel of health left, and I just got greedy and got grabbed by her. So we're gonna start this fight off with a Bone Marrow Ash Cannon to her big ugly face. And the next step of the fight, I'm gonna try to bait out one specific attack, which is this attack where she smashes her face into the ground. Because you get a good, clean hit at her head, she comes down, I can get a charge attack started up for when she hits the ground, and that gives me enough time to do that visceral attack, all for like 6,000 or 7,000 damage. Oh, and I could have followed that up with way more if I was ready for it. Still get another 3,000 out of it. Trust me, Ebrietas is not as easy as I'm making her look. I just happen to have a really good plan going into the fight. Just to wombo combo her. Oh, her theme is the best, too. If you listen to the soundtrack version, it's like 40 seconds in that the great part starts. Also note that I'm constantly taking damage now that she's low on health, kind of like the blue smelter demon. I'm taking magic damage over time. If you get hit by that blood, you will get frenzied. This attack, wait, dodge at the last second. It's not the charge in midair that you have to worry about with that attack, it's the face smash that comes afterwards. And we're done. God damn, I just realized I didn't get hit at all. That's a pretty clean Ebrietas fight. I learned to do that fight very, very well and make that fight look easy because Ebrietas is probably the boss I had the hardest time in the game with on my other playthrough. The Great Is Chalice is a chalice that breaks the labyrinth seal. Great chalices unlock deeper reaches of the labyrinth. The Great Is Chalice became the cornerstone of the choir, the elite delegation of the Healing Church. It was also the first great chalice brought back to the surface since the time of Bergenworth and allowed the choir to have audience with Ebrietas. I always kind of vary on the way I say that. Also interesting to note that Ebrietas is fought in the back of the Grand Cathedral. In the original Project Beast trailer, you could see that Ebrietas was actually in Vicar Amelia's boss room in the original build of the game that was shown off as Project Beast. And yeah, this altar she was kneeling at, that is quite clearly a statue or an effigy of Rom. And we can offer flesh to the altar. Time flows in reverse for the scrap of flesh. The flesh that it's referring to is the living flesh that we had in our key items tab in our inventory. The one that we picked up off of the throne room back at Kaner's castle after Alfred smashed the good queen into red jam. So that altar just did something for her, so we're going to go back to the throne room and see what was going on back there. As for the connection between all of them, there's got to be some kind of connection between Erden. I'm blanking, sorry. There's got to be some connection between Erden, Ebrietas, and Rom. Because the child of Erden, who the game implies impregnated Arianna, looks just like those larvae, which happen to look like Ebrietas. And Ebrietas is kneeling at an altar to Rom, or something that is an effigy of Rom. And Queen Annalise is back.
Arrant fool. Vile blood or no, forget not. We are thy queen.
Unfortunately,
Closest of kin. Bearer of our blood.
Is this new?
I welcome thee.
Oh no, this is a new dialogue. I kind of wish she would acknowledge what happened to her. But we brought Annalise back to life using the altar. Maybe Ebrietas was thinking she could bring Rom back to life. We'll speculate more on that later. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take it easy. Have a good one.